This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
And good morning, I'm meteorologist Todd Clausen. It is Wednesday, April the 22nd. And yesterday, the talk of the town was the wind. It was sunny. It was beautiful, right? And of course, we'll get to all your news headlines coming up in just a little bit. But let's talk a little weather for you first. The wind was the issue yesterday, as I mentioned. I want to point out a couple things this morning. The wind has calmed down. That is the good news across the area. And you also notice these arrows. They're pointing from the south. And that's going to be a big change in our forecast for the day today, because that is going to allow our temperatures to warm very quickly from where we are right now, which is pretty chilly in the 30s and in the 40s. But unlike yesterday, when our temperatures really struggled, even with that sunshine, because the winds were out of the northwest, today it is a whole different ball game for us all across the area. Now, there's a little bit of cloud cover to the north, but most of central Indiana is clear here this morning. And as we expand out, there is some snow that is up to the north through Wisconsin. That's going to scoot to our north, thankfully. We don't have to worry about any precipitation in the forecast for the day today. However, the clouds will start to increase throughout the day today. So we start off pretty sunny across the area. Eventually we go partly cloudy, and then we go mostly cloudy in the afternoon hours. But look at that high temperature today, pushing all the way up to right around the 70-degree mark. So it's a mild day. It's probably the warmest day of this entire week, and plenty of an opportunity for you to get out and about throughout the day to enjoy the warmth. But as we work our way into the evening hours, it's still mild with temperatures in the 60s, but the clouds will start to increase. And once those clouds increase, tomorrow is potentially the wettest day of the week. So we go from the warmest day of the week today to the wettest day of the week tomorrow. It's also cooler with the clouds and showers around. High temperatures will be in the 60s across the area, or right around 60 degrees for your high temperature. And here's how it looks on TrueCast. The showers will be arriving around this time tomorrow morning and then overspreading the area. They're probably a little more steady and heavier in southern locations throughout the course of the morning hours. The further north you live tomorrow, probably the drier you will be. And then we'll just deal with some scattered showers on Thursday evening. Friday we'll set up for what would be a pretty quiet day across the area with just some small rain chances. They shoot back up on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're dealing with some small rain chances as well. So tomorrow's the wettest day in our 7-day planning forecast. Friday, 64 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And then as we get into the weekend, it's not a washout by any means. It's definitely cooler with high temperatures in the 50s. There will be an opportunity to get out and about. Some storms Saturday afternoon, potentially into the evening hours. And then the rain on Monday, it looks like at least, is going to be on the morning, or during the morning hours, I should say, on Sunday. And then we'll bring some warmer temperatures back in as we get into the middle of the week. But Lauren, today, it's going to be one of those warmer days where you can get out and about and do anything you want. You'll just see the clouds increase throughout the day, but we are not going to expect any rainfall until at least late tonight after sunset.
All right, Todd, we are looking forward to a great day here. Thank you so much. We do now want to get to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. The death toll in Indiana has risen above 600. In the latest report, the Indiana State Department of Health reporting 61 new deaths. The state also has 431 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total to more than 12,000. According to Johns Hopkins University, more than 75,000 Americans have recovered from this disease. New information now from the state officials about how this pandemic is being handled in jails and prisons. We told you earlier this week that there are some continued concerns about the safety of inmates and the Department of Correction employees since they're in such close quarters. The department's chief medical officer says the Indiana DOC is working with our neighbors to the east. Ohio is conducting a widespread inmate testing.
We actually were in touch with Ohio Department of Correction overnight and again this morning, just to kind of figure out the logistics of how they made that happen. We're looking at what they are doing, and we're seeing how we can replicate a similar model here in Indiana. I don't have anything firmed up that I could share at this time, though.
On Monday, the Department of Correction announced 2 inmates have died from COVID-19. This was at the Plainfield Correctional Facility. More than 200 inmates have been diagnosed with the virus in our state. At least 83 employees have also tested positive. When it comes to federal funding to directly help people and families, Call 6 Investigates has been digging into concerns. Some people are not getting their stimulus checks, and some are getting error-type messages when they check their IRS portal. Sandra Fink and her husband husband own a wedding venue in Brown County. With no money coming in, they were very much looking forward to their stimulus check. But when they checked the IRS website, it says payment status not available.
I just want to know what's going on. If it said, you're not going to get yours for another month and it's going to come by a paper check, that's fine. Just to know something.
Call 6 Investigates has been reaching out to the IRS on behalf of Hoosiers since Thursday morning. We've called and emailed half a dozen times. We found information on the IRS website that says you could get the payment status not available message for several reasons, including the IRS has not finished processing your 2019 return, or the application doesn't have your data, or you may not have received a stimulus check because you are not eligible because you make too much money. Your Social Security number is invalid, or you are claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns. Well, Sandra Fink says she doesn't fall into any of these categories and is hoping to get her money soon. Another round of economic stimulus is making its way through Congress. It's worth more than $480 billion, most of which will help small businesses. This as some governors are preparing to reopen this week. ABC's Alex Prochet is in Washington with the details.
In Atlanta, Mary Moore is doing the best to keep her business afloat. She owns Cook's Warehouse stores. She's already had to lay off 43 employees.
They rely on this business for their livelihoods, and I rely on them.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are hopeful a $484 billion stimulus bill will help small business owners just like Mary. Roughly $383 billion of it earmarked for small business programs, including the Paycheck Protection Program, which drew criticism after an Associated Press investigation reported at least 75 companies helped by the previous relief plan are so big they're publicly traded. The Trump administration says it will ask for that money back.
Obviously, Shake Shack was not alone in being a big company that got money in this. Are you going to be asking a request?
Another $75 billion for healthcare providers and $25 billion for coronavirus testing, something critical to the president's reopening guidelines. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo says in a meeting Tuesday, the president pledged to help the state ramp up testing.
New York, we now do on average of about 20,000 tests per day. Our goal, which is very aggressive and ambitious, was to double the 20,000 to get to 40,000 tests per day.
Illinois' governor says it could now be mid-May before cases peak in his state. Chicago's mayor says stay-at-home orders could extend into June. But in South Carolina, restrictions have been lifted at beaches, crowds flocking in, and Georgia's governor preparing to open gyms, bowling alleys, even barbershops by the end of the week. The president's coronavirus task force health experts saying the states need to meet the criteria before lifting restrictions. Still,
so if there's a way that people can social distance and do those things, then they can do those things. I don't know how, but people are very creative.
Now, neither Georgia nor South Carolina has reported a steady 2-week decline in COVID-19 cases, which was a part of those White House guidelines. The worry there being that if they reopen, it could bring about a surge in COVID cases. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
As part of the Rebound Indiana effort, RTV6 is hosting a virtual forum with the Department of Workforce Development tonight at 7:30. You can join in on the discussion and ask questions about getting back to work and making ends meet. It's all happening on the RTV6 Facebook page and also at theindychannel.com. It is 4:38. Production is back underway at Tyson Foods processing plant in Logansport after it was shut down for cleaning and sanitation. The company would not give an exact number of employees that have tested positive. After the one-day shutdown, a spokesperson said they have implemented more ways to help workers social distance. That includes installing workstation dividers, establishing outdoor break rooms, slowing down production lines to increase space between employees. Well, we know these are trying times as many Hoosiers are out of work. That's why our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is more important than ever as we work to connect you with job opportunities. Even in this global pandemic, there are companies in our community that are hiring right now. One of those companies is Indianapolis-based transportation and logistics company Direct Connect Logistics. DCL is looking to hire up to 20 new sales reps right now as it expands into a much larger space to accommodate its growing workforce. We spoke to the CEO, who tells us due to their focus on the food and beverage industry and getting deliveries to retail spaces like Costco, they are still busy during this pandemic.
So what we are looking for is self-motivated, highly ambitious, highly competitive people that may have books of business, that have been in the transportation industry before, that are looking for a sales opportunity. We're base salary plus commission, and the base salary minimum is going to be $36,000, but it can go up depending on how much experience one person has.
If you're interested in applying with Direct Connect Logistics, they are doing virtual interviews to keep everyone safe during this pandemic. He also tells me nearly 95% of their office employees are working from home right now. If you want to learn more on how to apply or for this job or any others, you can just head to our website, hiringhoosiers.com. A Central Indiana hospital is going the extra mile to encourage the power of prayer during this pandemic. Hancock Regional Hospital in Greenfield has added designated prayer parking. The spots are clearly marked. Local churches have been asking members of their congregations to go to the hospital and pray for workers.
We know that prayer and a sense of community is what gets a lot of people through challenging times. We also had a lot of people requesting to pray for us, words of encouragement, kind gestures. So how could we bring that together in a location so they felt connected to us as well as the rest of the community?
As designated prayer parking spots are set up to follow social distancing guidelines, they are available 24 hours a day. Major airlines are not making it easier for customers to get cash refunds when changing their flights, despite bailouts from the government. Coming up, what you can try and do to get that money back. And more big companies are doing their part to help healthcare workers. Still ahead, how companies like Greyhound and Chipotle are lending a hand. Todd.
Lawrence, a little on the cool side here this morning with skies that are mainly clear, but as you look off to the west, you notice temperatures surging into the 50s already, even into South Dakota. That's the warmer air that's heading our way. At least for today, it's going to be an up and down ride on the temperature train here throughout the course of the next couple days. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:41. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Only on RTV6.
Welcome back. It is 4:44. President Trump says he's ready to pull the Navy hospital ship USNS Comfort out of New York City. After a meeting with the New York Governor Andrew Cuomo Tuesday, Cuomo said they did not need the ship anymore. It's been there since March 30th to help the city during the coronavirus outbreak. The president said they would like to bring the ship back to its base in Virginia so it could be used at other locations. Officials say the ship was used to treat about 180 people, and the number of new patients has been declining. Despite the economic bailout, major airlines are not making it easier for customers to get any cash refunds. An investigation by several senators found that airlines are offering cash refunds only when they are the ones to cancel the flight. It's a requirement by the Department of Transportation, but when it's a customer who cancels the flight, most of the carriers are offering travel vouchers instead. Only 2 airlines, Allegiant and Spirit, are offering refunds to passengers who proactively cancel their own tickets. Most airlines also refuse to share how much money they've returned and how many vouchers they've issued. Based on one airline's figures, senators estimate airlines are sitting on more than $10 billion in customer cash that many Americans could use right now.
It's clear what the game is here, and it is a game. What the airlines are doing is making you jump through hoops. They're making it very difficult. So they're hoping that you're not going to be persistent.
Consumer Reports has started a petition demanding cash refunds that you can sign. So far, they say people are asking for the cash and staying persistent, and they're getting it. Consumer Reports plans to press for further action. Greyhound buses will soon be available to help first responders on the front lines of this pandemic. The company is launching what it calls Rides for Responders program. The idea is to give free rides to healthcare volunteers who travel across the country to help during the coronavirus outbreak. The program is also open to firefighters, law enforcement officers, and officers who need a ride to their volunteering site. Volunteers can apply for trips on the program's website, and their ticket will be ready in 72 hours. Greyhound says it wants to take the hassle out of travel so first responders can focus on the task at hand. Chipotle Mexican Grill is also making an effort to help healthcare workers. It's launching a buy one, give one program that runs now through Sunday. The company says every time a customer names their digital burrito order for Heroes, a burrito will be donated to healthcare workers. They'll be able to sign up for a chance to receive their free food starting on May 6th, which is Nurses Day. Chipotle says food can go a long way in lifting spirits of the nation's incredible healthcare community. One Minnesota man woke up to quite the surprise from Mother Nature. Check this out, a 30-foot tall wall of ice that came crashing into Steve Johnson's house. The phenomenon is known as an ice shove, and it can happen when ice on a lake starts to thaw. The ice gets pushed by strong winds, and it can pile into giant chunks. It crushed parts of Johnson's porch and broke a window, and unfortunately, tourism officials told him there isn't much anyone can do to stop it. Johnson can only hope for the wind to blow in the opposite direction. And look at those views right there, Todd. My whole family lives up in Minnesota, and they had a decent amount of snow on Easter, so they are still dealing with some winter weather. Back here at home, though, we have a beautiful day on tap.
Yeah, you know, today's probably going to be the warmest day. I don't know if it's quite as good as Monday. We didn't have a cloud in the sky and we got into the mid-60s, but it's still going to be the best day that I have going forward in my 7-day planning forecast. It's the warmest day of the week with highs near 70 degrees for many of us. Rain then returns tomorrow, and if I sound a little stuffy, it's because of my allergies, so I could use a little bit of this rain to kind of knock the pollen down here across the area, so I'm definitely not complaining about that. And the temperatures, they're going to be up and down here over the course of the next couple days, and it's going to kind of depend on these systems coming through and our rain chances. Right now we're in the 30s and 40s across the area, 33 in Greencastle, 35 in Greenfield, as well as Bloomington. There's frost advisory out there for some of us. Going forward in this forecast, though, we'll have a good amount of sunshine to start the day, and then as the day progresses, we'll start to see a little more in the way of cloud cover build in, but that precipitation that you see to the north, whether it's rain or snow, that should not impact us here in central Indiana. So get out and about. Normal high now up to about 66 degrees. We'll be close to those numbers in northern locations in Marion and Muncie. 70 though in Lafayette as well as Crawfordsville. And the further south and the further west you are, a little warmer it will be today. 71 in Bloomington and Bedford. 72 the high temperature in Seymour with partly cloudy skies. And then in and around the metro area, we are looking at temperatures generally right around 70 degrees for your high temperature. And overall, a great day. Get outside and enjoy. Tomorrow, I mentioned those rain chances. They're with us kind of off and on throughout the day, and there may be a period throughout the mid-morning hours into the early afternoon where that rain could be a little bit steady, especially in southern locations. Friday's a dry day, a little warmer with the added sunshine up to 64 degrees, then cooler with more in the way of clouds and some shower and thunderstorm opportunities as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening. Those rain showers on Sunday, Lauren, that you see in my 7-day planning forecast there, primarily in the morning hours. It does look like the afternoon should start to brighten and dry out just a little bit.
Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at traffic. This is on the near east side, I-70 at Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed in those westbound lanes. Eastbound is closed between the North Split and I-465 on the east side. And heads up, the westbound lanes will be closing this week as well. That's set to happen Friday morning, so both directions will be closed. The eastbound lanes should reopen mid-May, and then late May we'll have the westbound lanes open. Those are 30-day closures, so we'll keep you updated. Spotify is changing how listeners enjoy podcasts by creating playlists. Editors for the streaming service will be listening to hundreds of hours of podcasts and grouping them into topical, streamable playlists. They've already rolled out some here in the United States. Spotify launched 3 flagship playlists: Best Podcasts of the Week, Crime Scene, and Brain Snacks. The company says it hopes that the playlists streamline how listeners find podcasts that they enjoy. And some big news in football. Retired New England Patriots Rob Gronkowski is going to play with Tom Brady once again. Patriots agreed to trade the 30-year-old tight end and their 7th-round pick to Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers, after Gronk, asked the Patriots to come out of retirement. Gronkowski says he wanted to come back only if he could play for Tampa Bay. In return, the Patriots will get the Buccaneers draft pick. The deal will reunite Brady and Gronk, who won 3 Super Bowls together, playing for New England. Plus, the NFL Draft will be held virtually this year, but you can still watch players' dreams come true right here on RTV6. Watch the first round of the draft starting tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Well, the coronavirus has caused schools to close and many traditions to be put on hold. After the break, how a local high school is getting creative to bring their prom to their students. And the coronavirus outbreak is having an impact on many Hoosiers financially and psychologically. So coming up at 5, we talk to an expert about ways to help you and your family deal with this uncertainty. It is 4:52. We'll be right back.
Terribly exciting. That's why we do it.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Here is a live look south of downtown I-65 at Keystone Avenue, where we still have that construction in place and a big traffic shift. As you're heading northbound, you'll have to go all the way to the left as you approach Keystone Avenue to the southbound side. The exit ramp, however, remains open. Southbound drivers, just be aware that your lanes are reduced and that exit ramp remains open as well. Well, with schools canceled, many traditions like prom have been put on hold as well. But some high schools are getting creative. Center Grove High School is creating a prom patrol. The school announcing the plans in this YouTube video. For the event, the staff members will dress up and drive by students' houses with decorated cars to help them celebrate. Students who want to participate have to sign up, and they're also encouraged to wear their prom attire. They plan to take a lot of pictures and put together a prom video at the end, a compilation of everything they find. Organizers say this is a chance to do something different for students, and it's a fun way to stay connected. All right, Todd, hopefully the weather is nice on the day that they're doing that for the prom, and today would have been a perfect day for prom pictures outside. Maybe if people bought the dress already, just get outside and get some nice pictures.
Right. You know, today would be the day to do that, Lauren. Absolutely. We're starting off a little chilly, but that will change very quickly once the sun comes up this morning. We will warm very fast up to a high of about 69 degrees. We should be right around 57 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour with those skies that'll be partly sunny. High temperatures, again, close to 70 or topping 70 in many locations. Enjoy today. Rain returns tomorrow. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. It's 4:57. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.